Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Winning on Wednesday.
Boom, baby. What is going on, Insurance Syndicate? You know what time it is. It is 9 a.m. Central, and we are live here from Syndicate HQ. Hope y'all are all having an amazing kickstart to the week. I know I am. I don't know if you can feel the energy coming through on my voice, but I am hyped up. We are rocking and rolling, and I'm excited to be back with y'all here for another show of Winning on Wednesday. For any of my loyal listeners and followers, obviously you guys know I've been running this show for like 3 years. And I've been kind of pulling back a little bit. Like I haven't been running every single Wednesday, but I'm trying to get better. I'm going to be back. I had my fourth kid. And so sometimes it can be a little challenging. Just making sure we're here to deliver a good show to you guys. So thank you guys as always for tuning in. Let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments. I can see you guys. What's up, Sarah, Andrew? Good morning, Lily. Thank you for hopping on here. What's up, Christian? Good to see you, bro. Well, as always, before we get going, we do have an action-packed show with my guy, Jonathan Norton. He'll be able to tell you guys some of his story, and it's just, they're doing everything right. He runs My Town Advisors out of New York, and I'll let him share some of that. But before we get going, huge shout-out to Viva Virtual Solutions. They are the main sponsor of the show. Shout-out to Rob Lopez. That's my guy. Happy belated. If you guys didn't wish him a birthday, go wish him a happy birthday. But seriously, shout out to Rob. Shout out to Lily Davies. You guys see her there in the comments. We couldn't do everything that we do with all of the editing, the repurposing, managing the group, the YouTube, all the other social channels. Like, we could not do it without Lily. So shout out to you, Lily. I see in the comments. What's up, Kim? And also, too, if you are in the virtual assistant space, Viva, we've been partnered with them now for like probably 5 years now within the actual insurance organization. Their virtual assistants come over pre-trained. They're amazing. They know all of our systems. Definitely probably a little bit more on the property and casualty side, but I know that they're getting into the life and health space. And then again, you've got somebody like Lily who's helping us on the social side. So if you are in the market for a virtual assistant, definitely reach out to Rob Lopez and Viva Virtual Solutions. And real quick here, before we bring our guest on, you guys know what time it is. It's the peak of the week, y'all. It's Winning on Wednesday. Start dropping those weekly wins in the comments. I don't care how big or how small. We want to be able to celebrate you. Start dropping those weekly wins in the comments. I see some of y'all in there, and I know you guys got weekly wins because you're on my team. So drop those weekly wins in the comments. I would say real quick, I dropped my oldest daughter off for her first day of second grade this morning. So that was definitely a weekly win. She was super excited. Was nervous a little bit, but then woke up this morning early. We got out the door. We beat Carline. Like, we're rocking and rolling. So that was a weekly win. But then also, I've got to give a huge shout out to my boy Tyler Woodall. A lot of you guys see Tyler. You've probably known Tyler from the groups and the forums. He obviously comes from the insurance space. And recently, you guys may have seen my post. I got away from all organic. I can no longer say I'm 100% all organic when it comes to my social media. I did start on the paid ad side of things. And I just got to give a shout out to Tyler and his team there at Scale Ops. Y'all, like, within less than a week, I've generated over 40 qualified, like phone verified, OTP verified homeowners leads in Texas and Ohio. My CPL on the Ohio side is literally like less than $5. And on the Texas side, we're looking around 15 to 16 bucks a lead. So like, guys, if you're in this space and you're looking for like homeowners leads, again, they're leads, so there's not calls or anything like that. He offers a ton of other services as well, but I got to give a shout out to Tyler. That is definitely my weekly win. Just waking up and seeing, just all the leads coming through and getting worked. And I love seeing that activity. So yes, again, shamefully, I have to say I'm no longer, my line was, I don't spend a dime other than time. I can no longer say that, but shout out to you, Tyler. All right, we'll keep dropping those weekly wins in the comments. Oh, what up, Kim? 12K commercial auto policy. Let's go. Nice work. Nice work. Congratulations on that. Again, guys, keep dropping those in the comments. We'll celebrate with you, even if you're not catching the show live. But without further ado, guys, I've recently got to spend some time with Jonathan and his partner, Joshua. They run My Town Advisors. They're some young dudes, younger in the industry, and they're just doing everything right. And it's just like a breath of fresh air. So I'm excited to bring on Jonathan. Everybody give him a nice warm welcome. Welcome to Winning on Wednesday, my man.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Joe. I am beyond honored to be on the show with you, brother.
I love it, dude. Well, hey, the feeling is mutual, bro. I'm actually excited. I feel like this is obviously we do calls outside of this, and it's like, dude, I vibe with y'all, bro. So this is going to be a great show. Real quick, for anybody that doesn't know you, just go ahead, give them a little bit about yourself, a little 30,000 foot overview, and then also a weekly win as well.
Yeah. So name's Jonathan Norton. I'm based out of upstate New York, the home of the Orange, Syracuse Orange Strong. We're excited about this year when it comes to our college sports. I think we got a lot of momentum behind us and a lot of good things going. I'm a W-2er turned entrepreneur. I worked many corporate jobs, had a lot of success in sales, worked for a real estate developer as my last official job, where I did close to $45 million in debt financing around the country, and got this world or this view into this world of real estate. And I was like, hey, I think I could do this too. And so we started buying commercial real estate. And then the insurance thing actually was not something I ever planned to do, just to be completely honest with you. It was, I was frustrated with the industry. I was sick of what was going on. It seemed like the bar for insurance agents got really, really low. And that's not a call out to, there's agencies, there's good agencies out there. So I don't want that to sound like I'm coming down on the whole industry, but I just started seeing a lot of stupid crap happen. Like, we were working with a lot of contractors because we own a lot of real estate, and some of them were getting taken out by audits because their agent wouldn't follow up with them. Like, how hard would it be just to reach out and say, hey, have you hired anybody? Have you brought anybody on the team? Have you bought any more equipment that we don't know about? And so we saw one contractor in particular in the winter get a $17,000 audit bill. And so my partner, Joshua Williams, I'll give him the biggest shout out because he is the subject matter expert when it comes to our company. He leads us strong. He's the go-to guy. But I would complain to him left and right. I'm like, dude, this industry is a bunch of fraud. I can't believe what's going on, man. And he's like, well, Jonathan, why don't we start our own agency? Like, we're already buying real estate. We know how to help these guys. We can actually bring something different to the industry, and that's exactly what we've done. And so we're not the insurance agency for everybody. We've niched really, really hard into the trades, contractors, real estate investors because we're real estate investors, landscapers, excavation companies, etc. So that's who I am at a 30,000 foot view. I have a beautiful family, an amazing wife. I have a newborn, and so if my eyes look tired, it's because I'm sleep deprived. I forgot about the newborn sleep deprivation thing, but that's who I am in a nutshell, man. I'm just living life, trying to keep my head above water. Joe has been one of the most tremendous assets to us. I believe very strongly, and if you're an agency out there, you guys got to connect with this guy. If it costs you something, you take it more seriously, and it's the best money I've ever spent. Our agency is accelerating at a whole nother rate. So super honored, Joe. Thank you so much for your help, brother.
Dude, absolutely, bro. I love that. People pay for what they value. That's something that I live by, man. And it was like, I say it time and time again, that was the biggest shift for our agency because everything was an expense when we were starting, right? And you know this because you're bootstrapping it, starting from scratch. Like, it's not like you guys come from rolling a book of business, or like you guys are building this thing, right? And it's like in those early days, I remember, dude, it was like, everything was an expense. It's like even the word expense, you have that connotation, it's kind of just, And it's like when we flipped to everything we were spending, we were investing in ourselves or our company, dude, it full 180, like flipped everything, right? So, and also kudos to you guys, right? Because it's like you guys are actually taking action and implementing things that a lot of agents just wouldn't do, even if they have access to it for freaking free, right?
Dude, come on.
Real quick, I told you I wanted to kind of get a little bit more personal with you because honestly, I don't even know 100% some of this, right? Obviously, a lot of our conversations are about business and stuff. And so just saw some of your posts on your Facebook about some of, your come up and just kind of what you come from. Obviously, I think a lot when people hear about like maybe the success you had with Chase or on the real estate investing side, like, oh, he must be, a trust fund baby, or maybe he comes from something. And it's like, no, I don't really think so, man. But again, I don't really know. Can you kind of take us back and just kind of talk about that come up, maybe some of that backstory and and how some of that toughness part, like in that part of your life, like has kind of bled over into your businesses and how you approach, business life, all those good things.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, didn't grow up in the prototypical way. No, I don't have a trust fund or anything like that. Actually, my stories, granted, there's a lot of other people who have some tough stories. I do have a tough one, but I can't say I'm not thankful for what I went through, right? It's everything that I went through that made me the man that I am today, and I'm honored to be where I am today. So yeah, I'll give you the quick and short version of where it got really tough. Growing up, I grew up in the traditional, had a great dad, a great mom. They divorced when I was really, really young. And so where the story really got intense is my dad ended up passing away at the age of 36. I was 16 years old. And my dad was my rock. He's the guy I looked up to. And so that's when life really started to spiral kind of out of control. My mom was out of the picture in the most loving way that I can say. I had legal guardianship of my brother at the age of 18. And then we really just were trying to make it work, man. We lived in some dumpy apartments. I had this old pink couch, dude. I mean, I think it was in this guy's old schoolhouse that he bought. And I kid you not, it was there for like 30 years. I mean, it was disgusting. And that's what I slept on. My brother got the bed.
Oh. Now he's back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
You're good. Pink couch.
Old pink couch.
Yeah.
Slept on that while going through college. Worked 2 jobs just trying to feed my brother and I. I had some loving people in our church who would leave groceries at our doorstep. Man, that's how tough it was for us. And so, I developed this crazy level of persistence out of necessity. Like I had to survive. I had to help my brother survive. I unfortunately was in this position where I kind of had to be a dad to him, which was really, really challenging for a 18-year-old trying to figure out how the heck do you do that. Right. And then from 19 on, I started developing some pretty significant PTSD from my dad's passing because it was a lot of stuff I didn't deal with. And so I had to walk through one of the darkest seasons of my life where I had great friends who would let me come sleep on their couches too. While I was like kind of out of my mind. I was like, man, I'm going to get cancer. I'm going to die. Like this is going to be super, super tough. But, post all of that, I got through that. Credit to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, who helped me get through all of that because I wouldn't be where I am today without him. I did not grow up knowing him, so I'll leave that out there. But then I got, I worked my tail off in college, doing like 18 credit hours a semester just so I could graduate early. I got my bachelor's in 3.5 years, started working for a brokerage company. That's where I, cut my teeth in the investment space. And then I'm a baller, dude. I love playing basketball. Shout out to New Life Christian School. I used to hold the 3-point record. No big deal. I'm not bragging or anything. But so I got connected with a good friend from my basketball days. And I just kept pegging him with questions. He worked for JPMorgan. He looked super successful. And he's like, well, how about you come interview with me? Come to find out at the time, this dude was like number 7 in the country for JPMorgan as a investment planner.
Wow.
He's now, I believe, number 2 in the country. And so he taught me sales, man. He lit me up, and so I can give you a whole bunch of sales stuff too. That's it, man. Life was tough in the beginning. It helped develop this crazy level of persistence in my life, and that's what I credit. Most of where I am today is from that level of persistence. I just don't give up. I didn't have a lot of people do, right? Circumstances oftentimes control our behaviors. I would advocate for you, don't let your circumstances control who you are or who you're going to be. You can rise up above that. Trust me, if you go on my Facebook profile, there's a couple of places I live that you should take a look at. So if you think you have it bad, I've been there. I wouldn't say I have the worst story out there, but it was tough, man. It was tough, but I'm blessed.
Tough times make tough people, man. It's pretty wild.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
You keep bringing up the word persistency, right? And that is actually... So we haven't gone through the House of Dreams yet. Maybe we'll do a call of the House of Dreams and just really, again, it's kind of like my foundation to success. A lot of people following or listening, you guys have maybe gone through it yourselves, or at least have seen me kind of go through the presentation. Persistency is one of the 4 Ps, right? It's passion, persistence, right? Patience, and then perseverance as well, right? And so it's like when I look at those, it's like discipline, right, is required. Discipline is like the foundation of the house, right? But it's the ability to persist and persevere through the tough times, right? Because that will happen in business where it's like, hey, I'm there on time. I tell everybody, getting there on time is easy. We have like, you can set 50 alarms and never sleep, past an alarm, and you can get to the office, but like, how are you, Jonathan, when you get to the office and you're sleep deprived and you got a newborn, right? And it's like, but you always show up, right? Because you have this power of persistence. And I think where they're similar, they're not the same. Again, discipline's getting there, but who are you and how are you once you get there? Because life has a way, business has a way. Somebody drop an amen in the comments, but like, it has a way just to slap you around. You could be having the best morning ever, and then you show up and it's like, dude, my entire day is now a shit show. Like, it's wild, right? But I love that. Persistency is key, man. And so, even it's funny you talking about that. Like, dude, I persistently followed up with this guy, and until I got the interview. Let's stay with Chase, but then I definitely want to come back to follow up, right? I think when we're talking about the industry standard and the bar earlier, right? I think one of those industry standards that we really need to raise the bar on is our follow-up game, right? It is that persistency. So we'll come back to that. Talk through some of that Chase kind of side of your story and kind of how, again, that led you into My Town Advisors and everything you guys are doing real estate wise.
Yeah. Just to set the stage here, I sucked at sales in the beginning. I remember my first freaking sales meeting with his name's Shukri. I sat down with him and we had a client. Dude, I was stumbling. I was literally sweating. You could see the beads coming down my face, I'm like, and we do private client banking, my words are just fumbling out. And he reprimanded me after the meeting in one of the best loving ways I've ever been reprimanded. He's like, Jonathan, did you put that suit on today? You're the professional. They came to meet with you today. And it was like a light bulb moment for me. But I guess let me share a persistent story even in that position. So our job was to get people in front of us, right? I wanted to set meetings with Shukri. We do joint meetings and we wanted them to bring their investment assets over. It is so hard to get people on the phones these days. Nobody wants to talk to a salesman, right? Even you, right? Me, I don't want to get the sales call.
Right.
And that's why that level of persistence matters. I called this doctor. Get this, I kid you not, like 87 times. And I wish I was over exaggerating, right? Because he had like $280,000 in his checking account or something. And so I kid you not, 86 times. And the guy finally picks up the phone. He's like, damn it, Jonathan. I was like, doctor, I am so sorry. You have to forgive me for my persistence. He's like, just schedule the meeting. I was like, okay. And so we got the meeting scheduled. He comes in and he tells us, listen, I don't want anybody to talk yet. I'm just going to give it to this kid. He called me 87 times, left me 87 voicemails. I have $280,000 in the checking account and just invest it. I don't care what you do with it. Just invest it. I got to give it to the kid. And so, dude, it pays off, man.
Yes.
Like, I think a lot of times we look at persistence of like, oh man, you're just being that naggy salesperson. I promise you're not going to get a yes if you don't follow up. That's not going to happen. And so that gave me this like view into sales. Like, man, if I just do this at a crazy volume and I continue to follow up, I heard this one banker say, Jonathan, I'll call that person 3 times a week because I'm going to get a yes or I'm going to get a no, but they're going to give me an answer. And so that, dude, I started exploding. I was a 2-time national achiever. I met Jamie Dimon. I got to go to like some awesome sales conferences. They hosted me down in Dallas, Texas at the Cowboys Stadium. Dude, I tried kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
Most of you don't know how hard that is. I shanked it so hard I almost hit it in the passing station. And so, dude, that helped develop that level of persistence. And then the transition into the insurance agency world for me was like super easy because it was like, okay, it's a volume game. I don't get offended if you tell me no. And I've already gone through the bullet sweating, moments of trying to mumble myself through a conversation. And then I'll leave you with this joke because I don't want to overtalk here.
No, go for it.
Some of us think that like, man, you got to have the perfect script in order to be successful at sales. I think that's just complete BS. I would fumble through so many calls. I left one voicemail where I was leaving the guy's number instead of my own. And then I start laughing. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I just left you your number. This is my number. And he ended up calling back. Like people want to work with humans. They don't need to work with, if they want to work with a robot, they're just going to call the 1-800 number. They don't need to call me. And so stop holding yourself so seriously to this thing that like, man, I gotta have the perfect way of saying this. I gotta be the smartest guy in the room. No, just be the authentic version of you. People want to do business with you.
Literally.
So I'll leave you with that. Sorry, Joe.
No.
rambled on there.
Okay, well, just squirrel moment here too. Anybody that runs a podcast or whatever, and they do all the talking, they're doing it wrong. So it's like,
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
You're a guest on my show. Please talk, dude, because it is very challenging when you have people on and they don't talk. So
yeah.
You're totally good. No, I love what you said. Right, persistence pays, man.
Yeah.
Luke Akery runs our Monday show. Maybe you've caught it. I know you're a little bit newer to the group, and he always talks about like when you're marketing, right, in the follow up, right. There's different frequencies of follow-up. So it's not like you can always call, you can text, you can email, you can hit them on social, whatever. We have multiple ways to do that now. But he always talks about like people like, well, how many should I do? Like, what's the magic number? And it's always, he's like, bro, I learned it from somebody else. And he's like, it's more than what you're doing now. And literally, it's like, there's no magic. Like it could be 87, it could be 57. There is no magic number. And I just tell everybody, dude, beat the brakes off that thing until they tell you to F off, right? And
True
it's
that.
like, or if they put you on D&D, that's fine. But like, work it until they tell, because at the end of the day, they need what you have. You are, like you said, you're the licensed person, you're the subject matter expert. Like, why are they even in your pipeline or in your funnel if they're not looking for your help?
True that.
So I love that you said that. Also, I love that you said, I want to stay here, because it seems like you're pretty savvy on the sales side now. Obviously, you have gone through different verticals, right? But I think this is my favorite. Sales can be taught, right? I think so. Some people are like, well, I'm just a natural sales guy, right? And it's like, and some people aren't. And there's like, man, like they just have the magic sauce or whatever. It's like, nah, sales can be taught. Talk through, again, maybe some of those pivotal moments with this mentor, right? Like who taught you sales, and just kind of how you've adapted and adjusted your approach to sales from the obviously Chase days to real estate. Obviously, when you're doing the real estate side of things, that type of sales and negotiating is totally different than somebody on the insurance side, but it's still similar and same, right? Talk through some of that. Like, do you agree with that sales can be taught? And kind of, again, what's your approach to that?
Oh, 100%, man. I was not a sales guy coming out of college. I love talking to people. Like I've always had that like personality that like, hey, I'd love to have a conversation with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I was petrified when it was like my income relies on this, right? So because of that mindset I had of like, man, my income relies on this. What if I suck? What if I fail? I had all of that internal dialogue going on, and the thing that Shukri called out in me was just having confidence, boldness. Like I spent the time studying. I spent the time getting my licenses. I did the hard work necessary to have the right to have a conversation with you. And that doesn't mean that you are going to want to do business with me. And I'm okay with that. And I think for a lot of the listeners, they just need to accept that not everybody wants to do business with you. And that's not a bad thing. And it doesn't make you a bad person, or that you don't have good communication sales or skills, or that you're just a bad salesman. That's not true. It's a volume game, unfortunately, in sales, and you'll learn that really quick. Like I have to send, 100 plus DMs on Facebook in order to get like 10 or 12 responses. And you know how the statistics get after that. It just starts going down. But consistency is what pays off in the long term. I just kept forcing myself to do those calls, to do the disciplines of having the right actions in place. And that built my confidence, because I was no longer like, oh, if this person says no, I'm going to be so upset, and I'm going to be so down on myself. I was like, no, that gets me excited now. Like that no is leading to my next yes if I continue to be consistent and do the things that I know are required of me to be successful. So yes, absolutely, sales can be taught. And I would for the listeners, pay something for that. Like if you want to be great at your craft, invest in it. Don't think that's just going to come naturally, or you doing all the free things on YouTube is going to make you better. I do all of those things,
right?
But give yourself a good mentor. Like Shukri called me to a whole new level where he demanded excellence out of everybody he worked with. So I became excellent in my habits. And until you're around the right people who call that out in you, right? I mean, we say, another mentor I have that says, know your tribe really, really well. And your tribe is the people around you, because if the people around you are toxic, you become toxic. And if the people around you are slugs, you're going to become a slug. So if you don't want to be like those people, find new people. There's this concept of the peloton in the Tour de France, which is the group of riders that surround the principal rider. And it's this really, really cool concept. Imagine if that group of riders surrounding that principal rider was like whispering in the dude's ear saying, dude, you look tired, man, you're sweating pretty hard, like you're going to be able to finish. Like, imagine how demoralizing that is.
Right.
And that's why it's so important that you choose your Peloton really, really well. So again, I'm a
That's
product
good.
of a lot of great people who took the time. And I promise you, there's a lot of great people who would love to take the time with you, but you have to ask the question and you got to be willing to put yourself out there. I have this model, man, you get one life, freaking live it, man.
Yeah.
Like, go balls to the wall, figure it out, live up to your God-given potential. You are destined for so much greater things than even you know.
Preach.
But hey, dude, it's mindset, right? Joe, you know this. I mean, you helped us right in the beginning. It was like, man, I want to spend this much money to have you help us with our company. And you're like, dude, this is an investment. And if you look at it as an expense, it's always going to be an expense. You're not going to take it seriously, but it's an investment. So
yeah, no,
does that do a pretty good job answering the question? Or?
Absolutely, bro. And I'll come back to this, but I love it's preparation, right? It's like so many people. One of my favorite quotes is, I'd rather be prepared with no opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared. And it's like so many people will wait for the opportunity, but they've not done any of the heavy lifting to be prepared for the actual opportunity. And then you pair that with the consistency piece, right? It's like, it's like persistency, consistency. Like, I mean, and also, bro, we have to do House of Dreams too, because literally part of it is also your tribe. And I use the word specific, like, I'm like, all right, now we have to do this shit together. But no, so when we're talking about preparation, right? Let's break it down granular to like a daily thing. There are a lot of people that aren't going to be sending out 100 DMs a day, right? So are you using, again, get as technical as you can on this. Like, are you like mastering your calendar? Is it task and to-dos? Is it, dude, I just wake up and just do it because it's something like, do you have anything that is kind of helping you stay on track and being prepared and doing these things on the daily basis? Or even just what does that look like for you? Like, hey, I get in the morning, this is my day today, and I just consistently do it because I know at the end of the day, it's the law of large numbers. Like, I'm going to get there to close the business eventually. Talk through some of that.
Yeah, I'm a work in progress and trying to refine that. My calendar management, I'm not going to pretend here. I'm working through that because right now I wear the two hats. And we've been doing a lot of real estate acquisitions and big construction projects. So I get pulled in two different directions, which I would never advocate for anybody to do. Make sure you have a good team. And thankfully, I have a great team on the insurance side. But daily habits, I wake up in the morning. One, I always read my word because I got to get my mindset right. If my mindset's right, the whole day's shot. And so I get in the word right in the beginning of my day. And then what I try to do right in the morning, I think this is an untapped market for all of your listeners. Facebook cold DMing. I think the world of LinkedIn is mostly dead when it comes to that because everybody's getting spammed so much on there that the response rates over there were just terrible. And so what I do is I have a target. I want to try to get 100 DMs out, and I keep it. I mean, you guys are going to laugh, but it's this stupidly simple. I say, hey, Jim, I would love to help you with your business insurance. Would you consider jumping on a call with me? It's not some lengthy thing. My response rate is so high. I kid you not, our first 6 figures in income was literally built off Facebook cold DMing. And I'm not over exaggerating or trying to pretend to you. Mm-hmm. That's how we were built. Now, mind you, I come from the cold calling world. That's how I cut my teeth in it.
Same.
I think that you have to mirror 2 different strategies now. Like, thankfully, we have 2 licensed producers on our team, 2 more in training. We have another one coming in. So at this point now, we have people making cold calls for us and doing that work. Mm-hmm. But I've also been sitting with them and talking to them through the social strategy, right? And you were mentioning in the beginning with now paying for paid ads. You can do a lot without paying money if you're willing to do the effort. Go send 100 messages, say that exact line. I promise you guys are going to get results. It just happens. And so I want to get those out in the morning.
Where are you finding those? Just going to groups? Like I'm assuming it's specific groups that you're trying to target. I know you guys are more on the contractor side, so it's like we're just going groups, and then
I'll go even simpler for you, man. Yeah. I literally in the search bar of Facebook, I type in business owner. I friend all of the business owners, and then once I've seen that they've accepted my invite, I'll just go message them and I'll just say that line. Hey, Jim, would love to help you with your business insurance. Would you consider jumping on a call with me?
Wow.
Now, I've tried the groups. I did that wrong compared to how you do it, just to be authentic. I was trying to get leads in there, and it's kind of written all over me what I was trying to do. Yeah. So I haven't had as much success there yet, but that strategy wins for me. And then what I started doing is I started niching down. I type in contractors. And then I would go through, and Facebook gives you the ability to actually message business owners even before you're friends with them. And so I tried to crank through as many before they kind of shut me down on that front. And then I would just go in and continue to add, right? I add my demographic of business owners that I'm trying to get, and then I just message them up the wazoo. And unfortunately for many of them listening today, they're going to know, like, dude, Jonathan, yeah, you sent me like 15 messages. You know, I am sorry. Forgive me for my persistence. Use that line always.
I'm gonna hit you with 87 until you say yes, dude.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. And you know, some of them have told me to piss off and everything, and you know, I take that all in love. I get it. It's annoying, and I call that out, and I'm okay with calling it out. I like my next follow-up message would be like, hey, I know I'm being painfully annoying, but what do you think? Are you open to the call? And some people will even be like, no, dude, I get the hustle, man. I like keep crushing it. You know, I'm just not interested right now. Or yeah, I am interested. Let's jump on the call. It works, right? And then, you know, what I try to do, everything I front load in the day, because I personally post like 2 o'clock things to start to crescendo for me. And I feel like I'm slowing down a bit because I'm so ramped up in the morning. And that's usually when I start doing more clerical things. Like I'm just, you know, I'm doing some social media posting, you know, trying to schedule that out. You know, what kind of video am I going to post the next day? You know, what tasks do I have to do with, you know, some of our clients, or follow up calls with Josh on, you know, things that require my attention. And then obviously some of the real estate stuff. So,
yep. No, I think, you know, it's funny. You're one of the best examples. And then you'll as soon as I'm saying this, we'll wait for him to come back. He'll be back in like 10 seconds. But if you guys, I don't think he's tagged in the post yet. I'll come back and tag him. But you guys go and look up Jonathan Norton. I know. I was like, hey,
dude, I don't know what that is, man. I don't know what that is.
It's the timeout. It's the timeout. But no,
I don't know, man.
I was saying you are like one of the best examples of using Facebook as a business tool. Like, dude, I preach this freaking crap, man, where it is like, dude, Facebook is literally one of the most powerful business tools if you treat it that way. And it's like, everybody knows I preach Facebook, but it's like the reason I preach it, the reason I always have it up, the reason I'm always posting, and because it freaking drives revenue to my company, right? And it's like when my company makes money, that's like what feeds my family. And I know that sounds corny, but it's like, yo, like if you use it as an actual business tool, it will literally change your agency. And I see agents that either don't do it, and then they start and they're like, holy crap, I should have been doing this for freaking ever, right? Or I see people that have been doing it for so long that they're that far ahead of the curve because now they have the following. You know, like you said, you know, when you're like in these groups and things like that, a lot of insurance, even the DMs, right, in those responses, a lot of time, like insurance is all timing, right? There are people that, you know, they want to do business with you. You have that human interaction. That's great. But then it's like, man, maybe it's just not the right time. But if you're the one that is top of mind when shit hits the fan, because it literally hits fan every single day with clients, whether it's in your agency or not, it's just, you're waiting your turn, right? But it will happen where they go through a poor claims experience, or they're tired of their agent not freaking answering, or they go through a shitty audit and they're like, I want a new agent. Who is that? Man, that guy was messaging me about helping me with business insurance. Let me hit up Jonathan, right? Guys, it is such a timing thing, because it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Especially on the property and casualty side, like shit is changing every single day. They're getting into accidents, whatever that might be. If you are out there, like staying consistent, you're pinging them, you're being you're using your Facebook, your profile as a tool so they can tell you're human. Like, you will freaking win business. I know we've talked about this, Jonathan. It's like, dude, I have people that call me. I got people that call me from high school, and I'm like, dude, we weren't even friends in high school. And they're calling, hey, you were the first person I thought of, you know? And it's like,
dude, let me give you the success story, man. So this is just a testament to how powerful it is. I messaged this massive painting contractor, super awesome dude. Sent him a DM, and he's like, man, like, I'm kind of busy. I was like, well, hey, dude, can we just jump on a call? Jumped on a call. He's like, guys, you're going to have to give me until like next April. And I was like, man, that sucks. Like, we're waiting another year. Because we knew he was likely going to be a big account. He had a lot going on. But dude, I started following up with him in February. I'm like, hey brother, I know you're probably busy still, you know, just want to start getting things prepped. Nothing, right? Still kind of silent. March comes up, still messaging him. Hey brother, I still want to talk to you. I know you were mentioning April. I just want to make sure that we hit that mark, and it requires quite a bit of work, as a lot of you agents know. We ended up getting him in April. He ended up moving his whole relationship over. We saved him $60,000. And at the moment, I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And then I'm like, man, I'm kind of pissed actually. Like, if you put that into context, that means that business owner for the last several years has been overpaying for years. Right. Could you imagine as a business owner adding $5,000 a month back to your free cash flow? We would all love to do that.
Right.
That just shows you, unfortunately, how low the bar is in the industry. That their agent wasn't following up with them proactively, or wasn't shopping, or wasn't doing half the things they said they would do. We come to the table and we look like rock stars because we do what we say we're going to do. It's as simple as that. The whole insurance agency game is do what you say you're going to do, follow up for your owners because it actually matters. That's their livelihood. Their home is their livelihood. Like, take good care of them. They'll take good care of you. And that's why the retention rates can be so high.
Right. Sorry. It's like, okay, so let's stay here with the follow-up, right? Because we were talking about it, like the bar that needs to be raised. It is the follow-up, man, on the sales side and on the service and the retention side of things, where like so many agents have their back door wide open. Like, it's, have the front door open, but like keep them in there, like lock everything down on the back door, right? Like, because that's the money for us. It's a little bit different, obviously, in like life and things like that, where you're getting more of that quick hit. It's not as much of a residual component. I know there are some out there, but for us, like, our money is on that customer service side of things, dude.
Come on,
let's talk about the follow-ups, right? And I've got a few other things I want to get to as well, but like, obviously, we know where the bar's at, right? What are things, again, like maybe talk through some experience, or even, because you guys are new, right? Okay, let's switch this a little bit. Why don't you talk to a new agent that's coming in and tell them, hey, look, this is what you should be doing, and this is what we've learned in our first, because what you guys are coming up on 2 years, correct? You're not quite
so we're
18
months now. We really went live in January of 2025.
Okay, so talk about the bar in your agency, and also, kind of encourage the new agent maybe that's coming in, or even if they're just a freaking producer in another agency, like, dude, these are the things you should be doing in order to be growing the agency and winning business. Yeah.
I mean, so, first year was all about sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have revenue, we can't pay for our lives, and, we're out of the game before it even starts. So we went really, really hard on sales. That is a great strategy. I would say if you can be a little bit more forward thinking in the early year, I wish that was something we did a little bit better in the beginning, of like thinking that this is going to work and let's plan for the success to happen before it happens. And that was just like some systems, some process stuff that I wish we had down earlier on. But our heart and intention has always been, hey, we're calling out some things in the industry. If our insurance agency is doing those same things, shame on us. Now we look like hypocrites. And so we have a standard, like, listen, we're going to follow up. That could just be a text message. Like, the follow-up doesn't have to be crazy. Hey, has anything changed in the business? Put it as a quarterly reminder that you're going to reach out to that business owner, so that way they don't get stuck with a huge audit and they're coming after you saying, Jonathan, what the hell did you do to me? I don't want to have that conversation. That to me is exactly why we started the insurance agency. Shame on us if we do that. So, obviously new producer, new agent, hit hard on the sales, focus on your, just getting the outreaches out there. Like, if you're not doing at least 100 a day, I think you're kind of setting yourself up for failure a bit. Like, it is a lot of numbers.
Say it louder. Say it louder. 100 a day, guys. 100 a day.
Yeah,
Come on.
do it. It works. And if you want to see the paycheck, do the freaking actions, man.
Yeah.
So try to hit that 100 a day. And then in the nights, right? I mean, especially for agency owners, right? You're up all night long thinking about, how do I make my company better? What should I be doing differently? Those are the moments you start implementation, right? Like, write it down. I have on my reminders all the time, like, hey, we need to think about this. And then I'll have a conversation with Josh. Hey, how do we go implement this? How do we make sure that we have a good follow-up process? Now we have some service staff now. So now we have an assistant who can go do those emails for us. But early on, get the disciplines down so that way you can teach it to your team. Unfortunately for us, we didn't do that. So I'll tell you everything we didn't do. We didn't have like the SOPs or the things down of like, hey, if somebody comes into our house, do they know how to operate? Right. And so we're learning on the fly still, failing forward, and be okay with failing forward. There's no perfect model to being an entrepreneur. I mean, Joe, you know that better than anybody, man. It's you fail forward, be okay with failing, you just do it forward. Don't take steps back because you feel like you're a failure. I feel like a failure all the time, and that's just part of the process of becoming better. Just try to get better.
I tell everybody this, man. If you ain't failing and you ain't breaking shit, you ain't growing, right? I mean,
I
take it as a good sign. I'm like, oh shit, we must be growing. Okay.
Yep. It's painful.
100%.
It sucks. It does not feel good in the moment. Josh and I constantly are sitting there talking on the phone like, man, do we just suck at doing this? It's like, no, we're growing, we're getting better. And thankfully our clients have been so gracious to us through that process because we over communicate. Like if we make a mistake, we just let them know like, hey, sorry, we didn't catch this, but this is what we're doing. Like we just had this guy who's starting a business doing hauling for like gravel and stone. We went to a local carrier. We're like, oh, hey, we know they would probably do it, but the big GC that they're going to do work for had all these requirements that carrier couldn't do. Yep. And so, I mean, we were like at the point of binding and then caught this at the end when they had sent us a sample of the COI that they needed. And we're like, oh man, waiver of subrogation and all this other stuff. And so Josh pivoted in real time. He called him, hey, listen, man, like we didn't see all this in the beginning. I'm so sorry. I wish we caught this sooner, but this is what we're doing. Now, this is where it gets awesome, right? So he was going to pay $5,000 in premium. We end up saving him even more. Wow. Now his premium is $2,000 because we did the extra legwork. We owned up to our mistake. The carrier gave us a huge shout out for owning it because they said, man, we've seen a lot of other agencies just try to slam this down their throat. And you say, this is going to be okay. And then this GC comes back and says, guys, we're not accepting it. Right. And so like and mind you, the premium of the GL policy he was going to have prior to us was $13,000, guys. Like, and no, that agent wasn't trying to find something better. No. So be willing to, own the mistakes, own the failures, over communicate to your clients, under promise, over deliver, right? That's the old adage out there. And that's what we try to do. And, we're never going to lie. We're going to honor our integrity first. And so that's kind of how we're building it, man. Like Joe's been helping us with getting our systems, our mindsets right on some different things, training, how do we show our sales guys how to do exactly what we're doing? So we're trying to find everything that you build has to become repeatable, because if it's not repeatable, you really don't have a business. Yeah. You're constantly floundering. So we're in that season now of how do we make everything that we do a repeatable outcome for everybody who comes into the door. So that way they come in hitting the ground running and they don't feel like they're floundering, because we felt like we were floundering for many years.
And it, I think also too, I don't know if it is kind of it's not though. It's like, but I guess it kind of depends. Are you not doing it because you're lazy, or you're not doing it because you just don't know any better? And then it's like, okay, now I know better and I'm changing things, right? But it's like, you also have the obligation. I love what you said, when people come into your house, do they know how to navigate? And it's like, we also have this obligation to the people that are coming in that like, hey, if we've never done it ourselves, how are you ever going to teach that? Like, it's like you almost need to have that in place. I love that you said this too, bro, is like plan for the success before you actually have the success, right? Yeah. So many people have that mindset of, man, this producer's not going to work, or man, this marketing campaign isn't, or whatever. They have that negative. It's almost like that expense versus investment mindset, right? They already have the plan B before before plan A is even actually started, and it's like, nah, plan for the success. No, yes. But a lot of that comes down to, what does it look like when they're coming in the door? And you owe that to them just as much as they owe you the actions and what they need to do. One other point too, I love that you said it. We were talking about it earlier, and then I want to pivot a little bit into marketing and stuff. You were talking about how your paycheck is directly associated to like my efforts, right? And what I'm doing and how I'm working. And I think that mindset, dude, is a very powerful and dangerous, on the positive side, kind of mindset to have, man. Like, your revenue and what you are driving into your bank account. That's why I love this industry. That's why I love entrepreneurship, really. I mean, it's up to you. And some people don't like that. For me, that's like the fuel to my freaking fire, dude. Is like, bro, if I'm having a bad month, that's because of me and not because of anybody else. And when you get that figured out, and like you said, I mean, 100 a day, I bet you 95% of the freaking industry says that. And it was funny. I was just having this conversation with one of my agents yesterday. The things that were not like the pain points and the struggles and all, like, man, a lot of the times we know what we need to be doing. We just ain't doing it, right? It's like, we know we need to be doing 100 a day, but we ain't doing it. And it's like, look at the difference. Like, it's like the Kobe reference, why was he so great? Because he was in there he was in there earlier, he's in there later, he's there on the weekends, right? Like, the reps, the 100 per day over a month versus even if they're doing 50 a day, it's just so drastically different, man. So I love that you said that. And so let's kind of stay there, right? Obviously, I know some of the behind the scenes with you guys. I know one of your main roles really is on that kind of marketing lead gen side of things. Yep. Let's get into that, right? We'll use the kind of tail end of the show just to cover some of that. What are you doing? obviously we got the cold DMs and everything, but you're posting videos. Like, tell us everything that you're doing on that side to basically drive referrals or leads into the actual agency.
Yeah. I'm a big follower. Probably most of you are, right? The Alex Ramosys, the Gary V's of the world. And so the common theme that we've talked about today is consistency, right? And so the reason they won at such the magnitude that they are is because they were super consistent in creating content. And we live in an attention economy.
Yeah.
And so now I'm getting DMs. Joe, you'll love this. I get DMs now like, hey, you're the insurance guy, right? I'm like, yes, I am. And so every day I try to get a video out. They're not perfect. They're not scripted. They're not well edited. I do it with my iPhone. So before you come at me with all of your excuses of like why you can't do it, you can do it. Trust me, I'm doing it with an iPhone. And so I'll just post different things that like, either frustrations I've seen in the industry, what we just did for a client, why they should work with us, what our team's doing differently out there. And I just do it with such great frequency now that now it's really starting to pay off. And so, for all you marketers out there, any good marketer will tell you any good plan when implemented takes about 6 months to see any kind of fruit from it. And so set your expectations right. You're going to have to be stupidly consistent for 6 months before you see an ounce of benefit from it. And that's pretty universal. Hey, maybe you go viral. I would love for that to happen to you. It's not happening for me. And it's not like sometimes I don't even get a like, right. And you have to be okay mentally being like, man, I may look foolish.
Been there, done that, dude. Like, thanks, grandma. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
like,
yes. My wife is always a sweetheart. She'll always do the love sign for me, just to make my ego feel a little bit better. But again, drop the ego, because ego is one of those great lids over your life that stop you from growing because you think you got to do everything a certain way or be, viewed a certain way. I don't care about that anymore. I want to build a great company. I want to do great things for people. I want to give back generously. So I do everything I do because I know what my mission is. My mission isn't to be like driving a Ferrari, have a big mansion. If that's yours, like, no,
go for it. Yeah.
No harm, no foul, man. But, know why you're doing it and do it consistently. You'll win. I'm starting to see the benefits of that now. Now, if I message somebody, the full circle moment for all of you now, if you do it consistently, when you send that cold DM, now you're legitimate, because you know what they're going to do before they respond to you. They're going to click on your profile. They're going to go see what you're about. And if what you're about isn't consistent with why you're messaging them, goodbye. They usually don't engage. I have now a crazy high engagement when I message because they've seen my content over and over again. They know what I'm about. They know what I'm doing, and they know why I'm doing it. And so, again, consistency is the theme of the day, right?
Isn't it wild? The things that all you got to do is stay consistent and it works. So it's crazy, dude. Well, I think there's a powerful point here too, guys. When you're marketing, like, I wouldn't, like, if you have a new Facebook account and you have 20 friends, the cold DM strategy isn't going to be as successful. Like, so there's actions. Like, so when everybody asks, like, how did you find so much success in these groups? Like, I'm in almost 200 something Facebook groups. Like, I found a lot of success in there, but so much of that was they could go over to my personal profile and see that I was legit and real. So it's so much more than just having the account. Like, there's a reason, like, we're not the only ones saying it, but you should be doing these specific actions, these video. Obviously, Facebook loves to reward the original video, that content, right? That it is the handheld. It's not super clean and polished, right? You got clean and polished, great. But the main thing is just posting. And it's like, that is what really gives you the edification when that person finds you in a group or you're cold DM. If you're cold DM and you don't even have a profile picture, they are not going to respond, all right? And it's like, and I feel like too, Facebook will limit that as well. If they're not, if they're seeing you just go spam and you're not actually, utilizing their platform, they want you to be on the platform. I feel like Meta's getting pretty good at like picking that up. And even like, I've had to be a little careful with, how I'm adding people and how much I'm sending, because it was getting a lot. And Meta was kind of like, all right, like kind of looking at your account. And I'm like, shit, like, don't limit me. Don't restrict me, please. Like,
been there.
But that can happen. So, there's a lot of value in that, man. So talk about how, once you get it, how is it flowing into, what's the workflow behind, okay, hey, they responded. What's your workflow of intake, we'll call it?
Yep. So again, that's the refinement part that we're working with Joe actually and his team on. But now we have a intake form for our producers to make it easier on, like, hey, this is the information you need to get in order to do the quote. My philosophy though is I want to book a call. I want to get you on the phone. I want you to know who I am. I want you to hear me. You know, if it's a guy, I'm always like, hey, brother, how are you doing, man? I know you're probably super swamped right now. Right. Because now all the guards come down. They're like, oh, man, this guy, you know, he's friendly. He's calling me brother. You know, I'm creating a relationship right off the rip with the person. Again, it doesn't work every time, and it's not going to. Right. You have to accept that. Like, some people are like, yeah, I'm just not interested. I've had those calls where they're like, yeah, I guess I'll talk to you. They get on the phone with me and it doesn't go anywhere. But so I want to be on the phone with them. Depending on how that call goes, I'm either setting it up usually for Josh because he's a subject matter expert. And again, if you can squash your ego, you can do some really cool things in the world of being a part of a team.
Right.
And so, you know, one thing that Josh and I've been toying about is like, hey, how do we create a team here? Because at JPMorgan, they did this at a high level, right? I was a private banker. Shook was the private advisor. I set Shook up so well. I bragged on him so much. I closed so much business myself, and that's why I was a national achiever, right? And I was joking with everybody, like, he makes me look good, right? Because if I can squash my ego, brag about what my company does, what the people around me are doing, man, I win by default. But so many of us have an ego. It's like, man, you got to see me. You got to know who I am. I'm the best. I'm, you know, best thing since sliced bread. Don't do that, especially if you have people that you could work with in an office. Man, be a team, work together, work a lead together. You're both going to win long term. There's no shame in that. So yeah, I want to be on the phone with them. And then, you know, obviously the new systems and processes, Agent CRM, for all of you that don't have it, is a really great system. We're learning about it every day. Shout out Agent CRM. And then we have our agency management system. And so now we're in that refinement process of like, hey, let's make sure we have good notes. We get the information we need to properly quote. We have a good follow-up process once we get that information. And then we have a good presentation at the end. I think it's a super powerful discipline to show them this is what you have and this is what we can do. The reason that helps is because not every time can you save somebody money. But like, we just helped a lady who has a real estate investment portfolio, and she had a property. She didn't know she didn't have all these coverages because nobody ever explained it to her. And we're just like, okay, hey, do you care about the underground utilities? Well, am I covered for that now? No, you don't have coverage for that. And we know the horror of that because we just helped a guy who came over to us who had a claim, and he had to pay $12,000 out of pocket because the policy didn't cover it.
Right.
And so like, hey, you don't always have to win on cost. I think cost is a great way to get in the door. Like, I'll tell business owners, especially contractors, I'm like, hey man, listen, we've been crushing in this space. You notice how I'm using language that is, you know, perpendicular to how they talk and operate. And it's not like
we're
some
crushing it.
jargon,
not
you know?
we are so cheap in this space, you know? It's don't say
it
that.
gets people engaged, right? It's like, well, what do they mean by crushing it, right? Crushing it can mean a lot of things. And yes, we are saving business owners a lot of money these days because we're reaching out to them and talking to them and shopping their policies like their agent was supposed to do. So yeah, hey, I think the presentation at the end is one of the most powerful things that if you could focus on anything, you know, as you continue to refine that sales process, make sure you get that down, right? The quote is one thing, presenting it is a whole nother animal, because how you sell that's whether or not you're going to win the case or not. And so we don't always win on cost anymore. Sometimes it's coverages, sometimes it's better service, sometimes it's just the fact that we answered our phone. And we got to broker a record change because we answered our phone. I'm telling you guys, it's
one of those bars.
Hard.
That's one of the industry bars that need to be raised, guys. Like, why are we getting 5-star reviews because we pick up our phone? Like, what the hell? Like, it should be harder than that, you know, but it's not.
Dude, and
it's
we blast it everywhere on all of our marketing now. It's like, yeah, hey, guess what? We answer the phone. On our website, we answer the phone. Yeah. Because these business owners, again, we are heavily niched into business. We do personal lines. Personal lines, I feel like, tends to be a little bit lower touch often than what businesses require. But these guys, like, this stuff matters to them. Getting a COI so that way they get paid. Like, if I take a week, that's a week they don't get paid.
Right.
Like, take
really good care. They lose the deal entirely.
True that.
Like, dude, we'll go give it to somebody else that had a certain 30 seconds. You're sorry, man. You're too slow. And it's like, well, dude, that's my agent though. And it's like, oh shit. Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I think some of this too, I got a couple more questions here for you before we wrap up. I know we're getting right on the hour. So I've been having this, I've brought this up. It's been probably a couple months ago now, but then again, been working with one of our agents in-house and was talking with her again, very similar. Like, we don't always have to be the cheapest. Like, we pride ourselves on our coverage and what we do and things like that. Right. Obviously price is important, but I went back to like this training I had where it's like having meaningful conversations. Where some people have like a conversation, but it's not meaningful at all. And they're just wasting away their freaking day talking to these people. Right. So it's like a meaningful conversation is anywhere from like, I think it was like 9 to 15 minutes, like 15 minutes max. Because then again, it's like you want them to know you're real. You want to have that rapport building and obviously underwriting, asking those questions, introducing yourself, kind of here's what it's going to look like moving, to get the ball rolling, whatever. But like, I think like what do you think is the definition of a meaningful conversation? Because we're doing a lot in that call. Oh, we got it. Yes. And they want me to call right now. And then it's like, okay, I've got to turn these people into my best friend. And but actually have a meaningful conversation, not just only sales and insurance. Nobody likes all of that. It's important. That's why we're on the call. But like, what would you define as like a meaningful conversation to have with somebody? What would like maybe one or two things that you think kind of like, dude, this is what I think it is that it makes them resonate. It makes them feel heard, those types of things.
Yeah. Well, one thing that we found is people like talking about themselves, and we are willing to hear what they got going on. And so we love knowing everything about them. Like, hey, what do you got going on? What's important to you? What's your company about, dude? Like, what are you focusing on? And I'll throw in stuff like right now it's summertime in upstate New York, right? When winter comes, everything freaking slows down. Right. And so I am aware of the season I'm in. So when I'm talking to a contractor, like, dude, oh man, you got to be freaking crushing right now. You're so busy. I know you barely probably have time for this call. Again, it's all rapport building because I know what they're going through right now. The last thing they really, let's just be frank with ourselves. The last thing most people want to talk about is insurance.
They don't, right? Dude.
And so, I'm not.
You're
I'm
a
not
scam. You're a scam. I just have to have you. Like,
I think it was you who told me, Joe. Like, it's the one industry where it's like literally illegal not to have it, and it's also the industry nobody wants to talk about it. Yep. And so, what we do is the insurance discussion we'll get to, but we're relationship building right off the front. Like, who are you? What are you about? Dude, brag to me about your business right now. Like, I got to hear all about it, man. Like, what are you doing? And then, from there, it's just constant engagement. Like, we'll follow up, we'll send hats, we'll do the little things that matter. People like that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. We had a discipline at JPMorgan where every time we had a client who engaged with us, we gave them a little goodie basket. They got a mug and all this other stuff. I will tell you, your next guest, you should consider having my partner, Josh, because he is the relationship building king.
He's the guy.
He has made our company so much better than I could have made it by myself because he's got this crazy ability to build deep relationships. And I would love to hear his take on that. But again, that's at least what I'm doing when I'm on the phone. Mm-hmm. I want to get them bragging about themselves. I want to hear all about it. I'm actually genuinely interested in it. And people will sense if you're not interested in it. If you're just calling them because it's truly just a sales call, hey, just know what you're signing up for. You're either going to get a yes or no really, really fast. But if you're signing up for like, hey, I may not win your business today, but I'm going to earn it in the business because I'm going to be there. Yep. Something's going to happen. Maybe that agent you're loyal to messes up. I will constantly be there. I'll be liking your stuff. I'll be bragging you up. I'll be like, oh man, hey, if you need a painter, go check out this guy. He'll help you out.
Yeah. That stuff matters. That stuff matters too, right? I love that you say that, man. All right. Well, so as we kind of come to a close, I always like to kind of ask this one final question to all of our guests. 5 years from now, where do you want to be? But ultimately, what do you want people to say about Jonathan Norton 5 years from now? Oof. What do you want them to say?
Well, dang, man, that is a deep one, and I'm going to give a deep answer then. All right. Hey, I want people to know me more than just what I do on the business front. Like, this is all fun and great, and I like having success. I like the thrill of the sport of it all. I like building stuff that's cool. But dude, it all passes away, man. One day I'm going to be in the grave and none of this is going to matter. And so I want people to remember me for loving Jesus Christ, being bold about my faith, being a man that loves his family really, really well and raised awesome kids and did right by my wife. I want to leave a legacy that I wasn't just focused on making the next dollar and not caring about people along the way. I have a philosophy in my life. I'm called to love people. That doesn't mean people will always love me, but I'm always going to do my best for you. And that's who I am at my core. I love giving away things for free. If you come to my house and you need windows, because I do so much real estate crap, I got tons of windows. I'll give you windows for free. I'm truly not looking for the mansions and all of that stuff. the greatest success I think I'll have is the moment where I get to come across a kid who's like me, broken, doesn't know what they're doing, is trying to figure out how to make things work, and I can freaking put him in a apartment, pay for his whole year's rent, buy him a car so that way he can get to college or get to school or his job or whatever, or put a widow up with her 2 kids because she lost her husband or something. Like that to me is like, dude, every box is checked in my life, even if all this other stuff fades away in business.
Preach, man.
That's what I love, man. That's what I love.
Yeah,
that's who
I
I
love
am.
that. I love that, dude. I love that. A lot of people associate, commission to a dollar sign. And for me, one of my favorite sayings is life is a commission, man. There's a lot of things that are like a commission that are happening in our lives on a daily basis, and giving and serving others is always one of the top commissions that I ever have. Right. So,
yeah.
Well, dude, thank you so much, bro. Seriously, we're going to have to run it back. I'll hit up Josh. We'll get him on here.
Cool.
But seriously, bro, like appreciate your time. Keep crushing. You guys are doing things the right way. I love that mindset of fail forward. Shout out to everybody that was tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Even if you're not catching the live show, don't hesitate to ask any questions. If you want to go connect with Jonathan, again, we'll have him tagged here within the post. And y'all, it's the peak of the week, right? It is winning on Wednesday. It is not time to slow down. It is time to keep the pedal down, finish the week freaking strong, bring that energy, bring that persistency, bring that consistency, y'all. Get out there and win. And again, we appreciate you for tuning in every single week. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Later.